One of the most intriguing aspects of RPGs is the way games can vary in so many ways, with multiple possible settings and lengths to suit every preference. While some titles in the genre deliver more grounded adventures, others are massive in both content and the time needed to experience it all, offering complex worlds and mechanics that hold the player's attention for weeks. Thus, the best RPGs with more than 100 hours of content are titles that value not only sheer volume, but also execution, always giving players something fresh to keep gameplay engaging. Even after a long time with them, it is still possible to find something fun to do, keeping the experience rich. After two earlier installments with modest scope, CD Projekt Red turned The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt into one of its most ambitious creations and produced a genuine masterwork of the genre that set new industry standards. The game combines a carefully detailed semi-open world with a narrative packed with weighty decisions and a supporting cast developed in depth throughout Geralt's far-reaching journey across multiple kingdoms. Those elements alone form the backbone of the game's content, making each quest and point of interest one of the best experiences found in any RPG. Thanks to richly written dialogue and thematic coherence, luckily, CD Projekt Red went even further, and with the two major DLC expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, that add still more land to explore and stories to tell, the title easily surpasses 100 hours of play. The isometric adventure developed by Larian Studios is gigantic, and in a single run, it is impossible to see everything on offer because, depending on player choices, many battles can be avoided or certain characters never encountered at all. Consequently, Baldur's Gate 3 always holds something new to discover, reactively adapts to the decisions, and actively encourages multiple playthroughs to reveal hidden narrative branches. Even so, within one campaign, Baldur's Gate 3 easily clears the 100-hour mark for those interested in combing every corner of the map and interacting with as many characters as possible, including optional recruitable allies. Thanks to the world's reactivity and the freedom provided, it is simple to invest hundreds of hours in this RPG and still uncover fresh story moments, combat scenarios, or secret treasure. Many Souls-likes developed by From Software are massive in scope, but the amount to do in Elden Ring exists on another level, merging the studio's signature combat formula with a sprawling open world that constantly nudges players off the critical path to explore. That curiosity is rewarded in multiple ways, from secret bosses and underground cities to invaluable upgrade resources scattered across the lands between varied regions. Combat is another highlight of this open-world RPG, and while veterans may find it slightly easier thanks to familiar mechanics and expanded build diversity, the learning curve remains steep for newcomers who must adapt. Considering those challenges, the enormous map, thorough legacy dungeons, and all the content introduced in its substantial DLC, the game can effortlessly exceed 100 hours of engrossing, death-defying play. Among its peers, Skyrim is perhaps the game that best defines total freedom, because after the brief introduction in Helgen, virtually no restrictions remain on the player's path. As a result, one can ignore the entire main plot and instead roam dungeons, accept side quests, and sample the other content Bethesda created, turning the title into one of the defining phenomena of the 2010s for open-world design. Although strong mode communities extended the game's longevity even further with new lands and mechanics, Skyrim still offers considerably more than 100 hours of content without any external additions thanks to guild quest lines and radiant activities. Even a full decade after release, the RPG continues to provide a singular sandbox sensation inside the genre, despite numerous larger titles having launched in the intervening years. The series has always carried an epic and cinematic tone, but Dragon Age Inquisition expands the experience, offering a vast universe of semi-open regions to explore. each filled with side quests and secrets to uncover. Playing as the Inquisitor, players must not only fight demonic threats spilling from a mysterious rift in the sky, but also manage resources and allies strategically through the war table. Beyond the original content, 3 main DLCs add narrative depth and new areas to explore, significantly pushing total playtime well past 100 hours of adventure. The Trespasser expansion stands out as a crucial epilogue to the core story, eloquently tying up loose ends and paving the way for future entries, ensuring a lasting, rewarding experience for committed players and dedicated fans. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 takes the historical realism that defined the first game even further, once again placing players in Henry's boots amid the chaos of a 15th century Bohemian civil war. Warhorse Studios RPG stands out for the authenticity of its detailed world, from vast forests and imposing castles to medieval villages, presenting meticulous historical accuracy and deeply immersive mechanics that sustain long-term engagement. The game's epic narrative, packed with branching choices and real consequences, greatly extends longevity, encouraging multiple playthroughs to explore every path and discover unique NPC interactions. Adding to this already extensive experience, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 also features planned post-launch DLC, guaranteeing players menial hours to lose themselves in its carefully crafted medieval world, rich historical setting. Although the main campaign of Fallout 4 is relatively short compared with other genre entries, taking a little more than 30 hours to see everything it offers, the game remains one of the most massive projects ever developed by Bethesda. The RPG's common world is a huge open-world map filled with locations for players to discover during moment-to-moment gameplay, random encounters, and lengthy settlement quests that emerge during every session. For players who like to get lost on the map and explore every point of interest before advancing the central story, Fallout 4 can easily deliver well over 100 hours of content across multiple play styles. Beyond that, even though not every fan uses the feature, building settlements, crafting equipment, and managing supply routes can stretch the overall experience even further and keep the wasteland engaging. While JRPGs are often remembered for enormous stories, a few goes even further, as Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition demonstrates for ambitious adventures. With an approach that differs somewhat from other games in the franchise, the title embraces a massive open world, one that even influenced the development of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. To give players endless activities, the game improves further when players gain access to various mechs that aid exploration, letting them reach new areas of the map and tackle stronger foes, coupled with combat that becomes enjoyable once the system clicks. The title stands among the best, not only in the JRPG field, but also across open-world games and sweeping, fully explorable landscapes for players. True to its tabletop roots, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous offers truly remarkable complexity, even among CRPGs already known for deep mechanics and sprawling narratives. Even when players focus solely on the main campaign missions, the adventure can last nearly 100 hours to complete, thanks to demanding battles and pivotal choices that shape the crusade from start to climactic finish. Players who decide to delve even deeper into everything the game offers, ranging from companion side stories and their parallel narratives to challenge-rich optional quests, will see total playtime balloon even further for any story-driven enthusiast and tactician. Although undeniably complex, this sustained commitment is handsomely rewarded with one of the finest, most satisfying experiences available in the entire RPG genre today. Even the base version of Persona 5 already feels enormous, blending dungeon exploration with social simulation and time management elements that demand attention across many in-game days, so the main campaign alone approaches 100 hours of playtime without rushing. However, The third semester content added in Persona 5 Royal pushes the total length significantly higher, adding new story beats, a palace fresh confidence, and challenging endgame encounter. Gameplay loop in Persona 5 Royal never grows stale because the JRPG revolves around managing the character's calendar, dividing time between dungeon runs, and strengthening bonds with other NPCs while chasing personal goals. Paired with a stylish jazz-infused soundtrack that accompanies players through every scene, the experience stays engaging at each moment and often leaves fans wanting even more days with the Phantom Thieves.